Chris Gardner's journey, from homelessness to financial success. Chris Gardner, born on February 9, 1954, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, grew up in a household riddled with instability and hardship. His father was absent, and his mother, Bettye Jean, struggled to make ends meet while raising her children. Despite her love and determination, their dire financial circumstances led Chris to spend much of his childhood bouncing between relatives and foster homes. Adding to the difficulties, his stepfather was abusive, creating a turbulent environment that left a lasting impact on Chris. Yet, amid the chaos, Bettye Jean instilled in Chris a strong sense of ambition. She often told him, "Son, you can only depend on yourself." Those words became his mantra for life. Early struggles. As a young adult, Chris joined the Navy, where he served as a medic. After completing his service, he worked as a lab assistant at a research center in San Francisco. Despite his steady job, Chris felt unfulfilled and longed for a more prosperous future. In 1981, his life took a sharp turn. Chris met a man driving a Ferrari and asked what he did for a living. The man replied, "I'm a stockbroker." That moment planted a seed of ambition in Chris's mind. He decided to pursue a career in finance, but the road ahead was anything but smooth. Homeless but determined. At the time, Chris was married with a young son. His marriage crumbled due to financial stress, and his wife left, taking their son with her. Chris fought to regain custody, and when he succeeded, he found himself a single father with no stable income. Unable to afford rent, Chris and his son Christopher Jr. were evicted and forced to live on the streets. They slept in homeless shelters, subway stations, and even public restrooms. Chris recalled shielding his son's eyes while they slept on the floor of a train station bathroom, telling him it was an adventure. Despite his dire circumstances, Chris refused to give up. He secured an unpaid internship at a prestigious brokerage firm, Dean Witter Reynolds, where he worked tirelessly during the day. At night, he stood in long lines for shelter space, holding his son close. The turning point. Chris's days were grueling. He had no college degree, no formal experience in finance, and no network to rely on. Yet, he stood out among the other interns due to his tenacity and work ethic. He mastered cold calling techniques, often making over 200 calls a day to secure clients. One day, his persistence paid off when he landed a high-profile client. His performance impressed his superiors, and when the internship ended, Chris was offered a full-time position. With this opportunity, he finally began to stabilize his life. Rising to success. Chris worked his way up in the financial world, eventually joining Bear Stearns, where he became one of the top earners. In 1987, he took a leap of faith and started his own brokerage firm, Gardner Rich & Company, with just $10,000 in capital. And a single desk in a small apartment. The company quickly gained success, and Chris became a multimillionaire. But wealth wasn't his only goal. He wanted to give back to the community that had once supported him. He became a motivational speaker, sharing his story to inspire others to overcome their obstacles. Legacy and inspiration. Chris Gardner's journey was immortalized in his memoir, The Pursuit of Happiness, which was later adapted into a Hollywood film starring Will Smith. The movie captured the essence of his struggles and triumphs, touching the hearts of millions. Today, Chris is not just a successful entrepreneur but also a philanthropist. He dedicates his time and resources to helping homeless individuals and single parents achieve stability and success. Chris's story reminds us that resilience, determination, and a refusal to give up can turn even the darkest moments into stepping stones for a brighter future. Learn how ordinary people achieved extraordinary success. Follow for daily inspiration.